Nothing great happens in life without first putting in the work to get momentum, right? I mean, to start the ball rolling. And depending on which path you're getting momentum on dictates whether or not you're going to be getting positive or negative results. And so often people work just for the sake of working, and they don't stop long enough to see if that work is bringing them closer to the results they actually want in life. That's why so many people work for years and they're never really satisfied with what they have in life. It's because they worked on things that created momentum in the wrong direction. And if they just took a moment from time to time to look at where the momentum was pushing them, they would have been able to course correct and get far, far more out of their time. I mean, more success, more revenue, more net profits in their business, and more happiness in life. And you could kind of argue with me on this point if you really want to. In fact, tell me in the comments below if you could think of anything in your life or in your business that's happened without you first building momentum in that direction. And we'll get really clear on this. And then I'll show you exactly what we do inside of my companies to analyze if our actions are moving us along the fastest path to get us to our goals or to hit whatever target we have. And this goes for any business, in any economy, in any industry, and it also relates to anything that you want to achieve in life. Now, the first example that I want to give you is for those companies who are really focused on growing their reach, meaning the amount of people that they reach with their message. And I'm not just talking about building a brand here. I'm talking about the most effective way to scale any company, which is strategically and dramatically increasing the number of people who hear your message, right? Who see your product or your company, who visit your store or your website, who walk through your sales funnel, and then who eventually purchase from you. Meaning, if your current marketing is reaching, let's just say 10,000 people, and out of those you sell 1% of them, that means that for every 10,000 people who see your message, who are targeted prospects of yours, approximately 100 of them will become paying customers. And if we were to strategically increase your reach, meaning that you're putting your message that's already converting in front of 100,000 targeted prospects, and your conversion remains 1%, then instead of getting 100 customers, because you were successful in increasing your reach by tenfold, the number of people who purchase from you now goes from 100 to 1,000 people in the same time frame. Now, if that's your goal for this quarter, then the majority of your focus and the majority of your actions need to be aimed at the things that get your message in front of highly targeted prospects in a much greater way than it currently is, right? I mean, that is pretty basic, isn't it? I mean, we're not doing rocket science here. However, most companies combine their focus on multiple targets, like increasing their reach and increasing their revenue at the same time. And although some of those actions that increase revenue are also going to increase reach, the mindset of your team and of your marketing team and of your sales team and of your customer support team and of you as a leader will never create enough momentum to scale your reach to 10,000 people or 100,000 people or 1,000,000 people, because you will constantly be trying to balance your time and your focus between growing your revenue and growing your reach. Now, scaling a business is nowhere near this simple, right? You cannot just focus on reach or just focus on revenue or just focus on retention or just focus on any one aspect, really. However, when I was just starting out, like most startups, I was doing everything myself, and it was an extremely slow process until I took a step back and I looked at our momentum. And we decided as a team, right? We all got together and we decided to focus a whole quarter on increasing just our reach and getting as many people into our funnel as possible. And then after we got a lot of people in there, creating systems to support everything that we just built that quarter that increased our reach. And then we focused the next quarter exclusively on increasing our revenue. Not just from new customers, right? But also from everybody who is already inside of my funnel from the previous quarter's work. And then after that, creating systems to support everything that we just built that increased our revenue. And then focusing the next quarter on retention so that everybody who purchased would become a repeat purchaser in some way, and then creating systems, obviously, to support everything that we just built that increased our retention. So every single quarter, we were heavily focused as a team, as a unit on the same goal. And then, after we were done, we created systems to support all that new growth. So those systems maintained our momentum when we shifted our focus to the following quarter onto the next target. Does that make sense? And now that my companies are significantly larger, we've got people in charge of each department. So if you're really large, you may not need to go through that individually. You could do it on a department by department basis. And the success or failure of us as a team reaching our targets every single year, every quarter, every single month is mostly due to our ability to keep each department focused on the most important actions for them to reach their targets, so that each department maintains momentum in their own way. And the combination of the momentum in those departments grows the company's reach and our revenue and our retention. And here's what you need to remember. One department losing momentum slows the entire company down. And when companies decide that they're going to only focus on one target all the time, let's call it revenue, which is very, very common, and they train their customer support and their salespeople and their marketing people to just focus on revenue, their growth becomes this roller coaster. And they have a few good months, and then they have a stagnant month, and then they have a poor month, and they're constantly struggling to meet or beat last month's numbers because they lost momentum on increasing their reach or increasing their retention or whatever. Whatever you aim your focus at builds momentum in your life and in your business, because to aim focus in one direction absolutely requires that you limit focus in all other directions. In my company, the solution we came up with for this is to get ridiculously clear on our top goals for the year. And we do that during our annual team meetings, where we whiteboard our main targets as well as pretty much everything else that we're doing throughout the year, right? All the actions that we need to take to meet or exceed our targets. And I've posted, a bunch of videos on how we whiteboard everything in our annual meetings. And if you haven't seen those videos, they're on YouTube, they're on my blog, they're all over the place. But if you can't find them, hit me up in the comments and I'll put a few links there for you. But the momentum doesn't come, right? Momentum anywhere doesn't come from just knowing what your targets are, right? So whiteboarding is great, but just knowing that stuff doesn't create momentum. Momentum comes from taking the right actions on a consistent basis. So after we whiteboard everything in our annual meetings, we list all the actions on that whiteboard. We list everything that we need to do to accomplish everything on our game plan. And then before we leave that meeting, every single one of those actions is taken off of the board and put onto somebody's task sheet for the year. Then every single day throughout that year, each person on our team is in charge of choosing the top 5 tasks from their task sheet and working on them, so that everybody knows that everybody else on the team is working towards the same big targets every day. And I know that I'm kind of glossing over all this stuff, and I apologize, I'm going very, very quick on this. But I've posted several pieces of content detailing how we run our annual meetings, and then also how we break everything down into daily actions so that our team is always in momentum, working towards our company targets as a unit. And again, if you can't find those videos, just hit me up in the comments and I'll post some links there for you. Or just jump over to my site and search the blog for the transcripts, because we post the transcripts along with my personal notes right on the blog so that you could get the most value from every single upload.